Everybody's nodding on.
Super. Well, I hope everyone's enjoyed lunch. Had some nice conversations following up from our morning sessions. Before we actually get going, just because it's after lunch, appreciate everyone might be a bit full. It's a bit of a warm room, a bit drowsy. I'm going to ask everyone just quickly to stand up if you could. I want to do something very quick. There's no. Don't worry, we're not doing jumping jacks or anything like that. Or maybe we are, I don't know, if you want to. I think because we've just got a lot of really great experience in the room, just going to do something very quickly where I'm going to ask sort of each, I guess, number of years of experience you've got and then to kind of sit down from there. So if anyone's been in your respective industry for 5 years or less, could you take a seat? Only a handful. 10. Oh, Carolina, shame. We'll go 15. This actually, yeah, I'd say it's over 50% with 15 years.
Same industry.
Of your respective industry, 15 or more years in your respective industry. 20, that's got to be a bit of a level. 25, that's pretty strong. 30, solid. 35, 35 and more. Okay, well, look, I think that shows. I'm gonna ask. You know, I'll ask you because you're here. You've been in over 30 years. Then, what's kept you in the industry? What have you kind of enjoyed, and what's kept you coming back?
The growth, and just the type of people, and
So that everybody can hear.
not much to hear. It's just a great business, personalized, one-on-one to many degrees, and big growth opportunities.
Super. Yeah, so personalization, growth, and excitement. Hopefully that resonates with a lot of people. So yeah, super. Anyway, I sort of just thought I'd do something a little bit fun to get us going. But yeah, so my name's Tom Fleming. I'm the Client Development Director here at AltoVita. Joining me today is Derek from NEI. We're going to be exploring AltoCore, which is one of our new products. But yeah, firstly, I'll let Derek introduce himself.
Yeah. Hello, my name's Derek Gregath. I'm with NEI Global Relocation. We're a relocation management company that's based out of Omaha, Nebraska. I've been with NEI for 18 years. I had just a little bit more hair back then, I think. Every time I get my hair cut, it's going away. And then from there, I've moved into client development. So director of client development, global client development at NEI. Really, over my 18 years at NEI, we've seen a lot of tech innovations, but this here, what we're talking about today in AltoCore is really something that is unique, something we had buy-in from a great partner of ours and approached us with an opportunity. So excited to talk about it and talk about AltoCore.
Yeah, super. Yeah, so we're going to look at the partnership between NEI and AltoVita, how NEI helped us shaped AltoCore. AltoCore fully manages ultimately infrastructure for managing the temporary accommodation requests, from kind of request to the supply chain management as well. So we're going to start off with a quick video to kind of give you a bit of background, then we'll jump into things.
Do you have trusted property providers in multiple locations, but managing accommodation still feels chaotic? Too many systems, slow responses, no single source of truth, no data, no visibility. Then just when things seem to work, prices shift, availabilities change, special requests flood in, and suddenly, it's all a mess again. It's time to simplify, streamline, and take control. Meet AltoCore Fully Managed, your command center for accommodation supply chain management. With zero setup on your side, we'll onboard your preferred partners and manage your custom property list and negotiated prices. Keep working with suppliers you trust while unlocking access to AltoVita's network of 7 million plus vetted stays. Booking is faster, sourcing is smart.
Actually, it's going to cut into what we're talking about. Super, right. So
Stealing our thunder.
Yeah, they will steal our thunder. Yeah. So I'm going to start off. Derek, do you want to talk us through maybe just very quickly how the NEI process was before AltoCore, and then I guess some of the key changes and the value it's added for NEI since going live?
Yeah. So, really from our perspective, NEI, we really aren't affiliated. We don't own any service partner companies, like a temp living company or a household goods company. So what that does is it allows us to pick and choose who we work with. So we try to work with only the best, who aligns with what we believe in, who has the quality, the service at the cost or the rates that we want. So historically with temp living, what we would do is we'd have all sorts of temp living partners, and we would, when we had an instance where we needed to book an accommodation, we'd reach out to multiple partners at one time, try to collect as many options, accommodations as we could, and then offer those to the transferee if they fit the budget and the client policy. Now, you can imagine this is sent via email to each partner, so maybe 3 different emails go out at that point. As the relocation account executive, as we call them, the coordinator, at that point, they're sitting and waiting for those options to come back. They don't all come back at the same time. Some of them are duplicates. When they do come in, they're all in different formats. And at that point, you're looking at all the options. You're trying to aggregate them into something that is presentable to the relocating employee. So you want them to easily be able to compare apples to apples. Took a lot of copying and pasting into an email, trying to get those to be uniform and something that you wanted to present. So that took really a lot of time. And as we know in the temp living space, timing is everything. So you get those options, they're not options forever. Somebody is also looking in that area. A lot of times before you would hear back from the employee, maybe that option got booked out from underneath you. So really a manual process, a lot of emails going to the temp living partner, coming back to us, to the employee, back to us, back to the temp living partner.
It's very manual.
Yep. A lot of time spent being somewhat of a middleman.
Yeah. So what have been, I guess, the key values for your team and that you've kind of been able to then pass on to your clients since using AltoCore?
Yeah, so AltoCore has been really our one-stop shop for temp living at this point. So what we did is AltoVita came to us and said, we've got this idea for AltoCore, really the one place you really need to source all your temp living needs from. And we want your help in creating it and the construction of it. So what did that mean? It essentially meant that we started brainstorming together. We brought in our account executives, the relocation coordinators. They're the ones who know the client's policies. They go through the initiation call with the transferee, that needs assessment to understand the timeline, what they're looking for in temp living, things like that. And really, they were the ones with the critical information, knew the process that AltoVita came to the table, wanted to hear what they had to say, and we had this process of just including what their recommendations were to eventually land within the platform. So, long story short, it's kind of a trickle down from our side to our clients. There's cost savings, benefits, there's time savings on our side, so we can have maybe different critical conversations about a household goods move or things like that. So I know we'll get into it here shortly, but a lot of trickle down, RMC, ultimately to the corporate client.
Yeah, so to summarize, so for any either, flexibility or on our side to adapt the product to your specific needs, to basically then support your teams and give their time back to actually, speak to the employees ultimately. Yep. Super. And I guess what are some of the examples of the feedback from the NEI team? I know it's a slightly leading question given I was part of the onboarding, but Sure.
No, so we have all sorts of clients. Our clients do all sorts of different things. There are times. I could just give you an example here. We have a couple different clients that we talked about duty of care today. For them, we would include the price of the accommodation when sending the option, so we had that transparency. We had maybe an employer or two say, that seems expensive, go back to the corporate client, talk about it. I could get something for cheaper, that sort of conversation. cheaper option is not something that the corporate client wanted anything to do with. It wasn't safe, liability concerns, things like that. So for us and for some of these clients, we just started removing the price of the accommodation completely. We're going to pay it. The corporate client's going to pay it. No reason for them to see it. Let's remove it. So that was one recommendation we had back to AltoVita was to just go ahead and remove those. So for some clients, that cost actually won't be sent from AltoVita to the employee for review, which is great. Additionally, simple things like distance from the office, commute times, things like that. Another just key, easy feature, customizable to each different corporate client and their office location, which made a big difference.
Yeah, and you guys have had quite a few preferred partners that we onboarded, and I guess just using the stat here of the surveys actually from the suppliers, how important is it that I guess your existing relationships with those I guess the operators, actually the people that run the properties, how important was it that those were maintained as kind of part of your delivery to your clients?
Yeah, NEI's been around for 40 years. We just had our 40-year anniversary. We've got a lot of strong relationships in the industry. So for us, it was important that we maintain our temp living partner relationships through this new process. So as we were constructing AltoCore, we went to our temp living providers and we said, we're going to go through this new platform. You're invited to participate, have your inventory within the platform as well. We're going to send one referral out. So we've got rid of the 3 emails. We're going to go directly to AltoVita, and they'll understand your inventory. They'll shoot, regardless of which company it is, the options that are kind of meet the criteria back to us for review. And really, we had a lot of buy-in from our partners. It's either, you do this is what we're going to do. And really, for the most part, they didn't see a reason why they wouldn't want their inventory out there. They want that chance for that booking. So a lot of good buy-in, a lot of good feedback from our service partners.
Yeah, I guess it's also helped by the transparency, right? Because your team can also see who they're booking.
That's right.
And just going on to the next slide, we're actually even going to, one of the statistics, I think it was 52% in the Air Inc. Survey was the value of flexibility in a program, right? So I know you guys obviously support a whole breadth of clients, and they have incredibly wide varying policies. So yeah, I suppose then how helpful, I suppose, is it to AltoVita to have for AltoCore, for NEI to have that options of flexibility built into the tool?
Yeah, so this is a pretty incredible part of the platform. Just like I would liken this to our household goods partners. We work with our corporate clients. When we integrate, we know exactly what's approved, what's not approved to move, things like that. We provide our household goods partners with exactly that, a list essentially of what can move, when to come back to us, things like that. We've now moved into a temp living space where we're doing the same thing. So for client A who might only approve or might approve 30 days and has a budget of $4,000 a month, we're letting AltoVita know. They're tracking it within AltoCore. So when we send that referral over, we don't need to say they're only approved for 30 days and they're only approved a $4,000 budget. We can do that for every one of our clients. So it's just, again, an efficiency, a small efficiency, but something that before took a lot of time, and it just adds back into our account executives' day to move on to other critical tasks, elevate them.
Yeah. And I know, we obviously always try and work hard to avoid any issues, but, when you're moving as many people as you do, things happen. How important is that kind of transparency in seeing whether it's additional cleaning or Wi-Fi not working as it should, or how important is that for your teams and able to, I guess, quickly deal with that and communicate that back to your clients? Yep.
Another really neat feature is, much as we want everything to go right, there are times where there's a hiccup in the process. So really, through the platform, our account executives are able to see exactly where the escalation is in the process. They're able to see the communication between AltoVita, maybe the property manager and the employee, the relocating employee. It's full transparency, and we're able to see it via the platform. And as the corporate clients in the room, the last thing you want is some sort of surprise coming your way. So as an RMC, it's our job to make you aware of where a situation stands or a challenge stands, and we're easily able to do that through the platform via the escalation communication.
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
And moving on to, I think, some of the things that I know people always care about. I know all the cost savings is spoken about a lot, but I guess it's also coming down to the benchmarking CO2 now as well, right? So again, for your teams, how important is it to have access to this data, I guess, in real time, so that ultimately you can provide that to your clients without kind of needing to wait for me or Kerry or Lucinda to kind of come back to you with an Excel spreadsheet now?
Yeah, so our access to the platform includes a lot of real-time data. So, just for the corporates in the room, you might get a question from a business, and it says, they're asking, I just got this bill for the temp living stay. It seems a little high. Are you able to look into that for me? Easily on the NEI side now through AltoCore, we're able to log in and see the rate that we booked. We're also able to see kind of the average daily rate. And with each booking, we're reviewing that. So we're seeing what's market, and almost in every case, we're beating market just due to the inventory size. We're not only was that booking fair, it was actually lower than maybe what the average would be. So, something that we have at our fingertips, that's amazing. Another piece, I know a lot of the corporate clients in here, they get asked for an estimate on a relocation, and they need it because they've got a candidate they want to make an offer to, and they needed it yesterday, that sort of thing. So they're reaching out to the RMC. This is just another easy button to say, I know exactly what the temp living is going to cost in that area, easily calculate it out, put it together, send it back to the client, and then they can deliver it ASAP. So that's a huge piece. I think for an RMC, we're an extension of our corporate clients. We want to see them be successful. Yeah. When they have success, we're successful. It's just another way, a new way that we can help deliver things for them.
Yeah, so I guess to summarize this, I guess it's accessible and digestible data, right, for your team. So ultimately, they can feed that back to your corporates in a valuable way. And there are features actually within the reporting tool that you guys have helped directly to build. I think the percentage of the preferred partners and the top list of where you can actually see the partners, so you guys can actually kind of manage that based on whatever your clients' kind of requirements are. It's been hopefully helpful to you guys as well.
Yep, certainly has. We have maybe a VIP level move, and through the platform, we're easily able to communicate that it's somebody important. It's a toggle. It's on, and they know it's an important move. The way the platform and the reporting works is we can see for that corporate client in that area how many we've booked. We can see the feedback on it. Was it successful? What were the ratings on it? But we can also see, just as a company, if we're moving somebody in that area, which accommodations have been maybe the favorite amongst the relocating employees in the area. So just valuable feedback. When we have a high level, you can look and know, but this is feedback. So people have stayed there, and you know that this is likely to be a successful stay for this individual. Also, through the platform, there's a group move feature. So if we've got 100 people move into Buenos Aires, and we need a lot of accommodations, we can let them know when we need them, how many rooms, what the length of stay is. We do the same with interns as well, but we can set budgets in there as well. So usually for those group moves, you might have a special policy for those, but just easily communicated back through the platform, and options start flowing quickly. And that's one thing I'll mention is, from the time that we send the referral to the time we get options back, it's actually been about a 20% increase in how quickly you get those back. So we're waiting less time to get all these options back. They're uniform. We look at them and say, this meets budget, or maybe not this one too far. We're able to select which ones actually go to the transferee. Once we give them that approval, they go. And we've actually reduced kind of our email flow by 10 emails in account executive per one temp living referral through the platform. So just a massive time savings back.
Yeah, super. And yeah, we're hopefully not stopping there, right? Like it didn't. We don't want to rest on our laurels. So we've got a few things that we're already working on. I know AI is a big topic, but actually we're working on just APIs, a little bit simpler, but no less important. So I think, yeah, how are those going to improve? And I suppose maybe the bigger question, what's the, I guess, value drivers from NEIs and your client standpoint, kind of to keep things moving forward and keep improving?
Yeah, so good question. And really, I think the cool thing about AltoVita and what was mentioned earlier is there's this constant desire for feedback from the customer to look for improvements and enhances just to elevate the product to the next level. So certainly some things we'll continue to talk about as a group and as awesome partners. But API integrations anywhere we can. So I know that's on the horizon. Cost information being sent back and forth via secure platform or maybe API directly into our new SAP system is something we talked about. Kind of for the transferee side of things, looking at different ways we can qualify the options. So the criteria doesn't match. This one's a 50% match, but this one's an 80% match. So kind of determining what those criteria might be. So just another easy way for our account executives to say, this is probably the right fit for the employee.
Yeah, so I guess the focus on the API is going to be for the referrals, again, to save more time for the consultants, give their time back to ultimately the traveler, right? Exactly. And then it comes into the compliance piece with the data. There's no room for error, which again, I know for your guys reporting, dealing with multiple service lines is super important. And a number of other features. We've got a couple of here, I think, on when extra options are added or preferred inventory. So corporates have particular properties. You guys can see them, and the traveller can see them. I don't know if there's kind of any questions. So sort of wanted to keep. We've talked a fair bit about it. I don't know if anyone's got any questions before we move on. I'll take that. It's all been super clear. Oh, Carolina has questions. See from you.
Well, I know the answer, but can you walk us through a little bit, like high-level implementation, how easy or hard it was?
Super nugget, yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, ultimately, again, came down to communication. It was pretty quick. I think we were about 4 weeks from sort of the verbal, like, yeah, let's go forward, to actually getting the first kind of requests through. I mean, your team were obviously very open about who they preferred inventory they wanted us to onboard. A lot of it was kind of in our system, so we set that up. There were a couple that we needed to get working on. Number of customizations, which again, credit to our product team. We sadly haven't got them here today, but ultimately they did the sort of heavy lifting when it came to the customizations, right? And there was a number of calls between.
They did all the heavy lifting. Yeah. I mean, we came to the table and we said, this is what we want. This is what we think would be great, and this is what would take it to the next level. And then we would meet, 2 weeks later, a month later, and that stuff would be built, and we could see it. And then we're on to maybe another enhancement because we've just experienced maybe something going through the old way of submitting temp living referral, getting an option back, and something was just wonky, and we were in that mind frame of this is perfect information to pass on to AltoVita.
Yeah, and it's quite right. So I think in the initial conversations we discussed doing it maybe region by region, actually, because we actually had everything in place. We just went live globally from day one, which was quite nice.
Did that answer your question, Karen?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. All right. Okay.
Love that what you're doing, collaborating to be able to advance all of these.
Yes.
How are you bringing the voice of the client into that conversation? So there's client voice, RMC voice. I'd love to, my RMC to be doing that. But how are you bringing that in?
Yeah, sure. So a couple different ways. One, the system's fully customizable. So based on what your policies are, we are sharing that with AltoVita. So when we send that booking, it's already eliminating a lot of stuff that you probably don't want your employee to see at that point. So kind of be an advocate for the policy. But in terms of cost, a lot of different ways. So as I mentioned, a lot of questions over cost in temp living space. Go ahead.
And then in the area of collaboration to advance all of these new features that you want them to build on behalf of your client, how are you engaging your clients in that regard?
Yeah, so I think in a lot of different ways, especially when you have some remote areas. We're easily able to access the platform, just show them different things. So I think this has been really a process of true transparency. So we've really never had that before. We would send referrals, we would get it back, and then we would go through a QBR or an annual review and kind of share those final numbers. But this is real-time stuff. So if I'm on a call with you and you've got questions, I'll just pull up the platform. Let's take a look at it, full transparency. So.
And I could say, Kevin, there's been instances literally where it's been like Alea or Janelle from your US team have said, oh, we've had so-and-so client need the data this way or need a request this way.
Yeah.
And then ultimately we've built some nuance in that ultimately gives them the power to turn something off or on because there's been a client request. So they're feeding back the sort of your guys' variables to us. Like, from our end, we don't always necessarily need to know the client name. We just need to know operationally like what you guys have asked for. Yeah. So it just comes through from the transparency communication to make sure we can ultimately give them what they need to be able to service their clients.
Also, cost savings initiatives. If we hear that from you, we'll take it back and we'll work with AltoVita through the platform on looking at the other options to see what maybe makes sense from a cost savings perspective there as well.
Yeah, super. Right, well, thank you, everybody. That actually brings us about to time. So we will. Okay, we've got Beverly up next. I will say we are actually going to be publishing quite soon a sort of case study, which will be coming out pretty soon. Actually, that's been jointly written actually with your marketing team. Zach has been part of that, and I think we're looking to do a webinar in the coming months as well. So look out for that on our kind of LinkedIn and website. But yeah, thank you. Over to you, Beverly. Thank you.